Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Susan Bland, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, the Dallas ambush, the attack on gay lives in Orlando, children being gunned down in schools. When will it stop? When is enough enough? I stand before you with a saddened heart, with a tainted spirit and a disappointed soul, but yet and still I have a glimmer of hope. Hope for a brighter tomorrow. Hope for a better time ahead for my children, for your children, and for our grandchildren. I even have a glimmer of hope for myself and a glimmer of hope for you. So much violence, so much controversy, so much pain in the world today. I honestly don't know what to say to you or tell you to do in order for you to have that glimmer of hope. But I do know that without it we are doomed. I, for one, refuse to be doomed. There is a gospel hymn that says, "There's a bright side somewhere, and don't you stop until you find it." There's a lot of controversy today over Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. As if it really matters, because both are correct. The Black Lives Matter movement was brought about after the injustice done in the case of Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old African-American high school student who was unarmed during an altercation and was fatally shot by a neighborhood watch coordinator who was later found not guilty and released. Some ask the question, why Black Lives Matter? All lives should matter. Yes, of course, all lives matter. It is agreed that all lives matter. So why is there a need to put emphasis on Black Lives Matter? Well, I can only answer that from my perspective. And the way I see it, why put emphasis on Black Lives Matter? Because Black lives have been disrespected, disregarded. Black lives have been mistreated, abused, and quite simply been treated like they do not matter for way too long. There is always a reason or an issue going on for a group of people to stand up and show up. Yes, all lives matter. There has been a constant trend of injustices done to Black lives, injustices done by the police, by society, and I will even say by blacks on blacks. How do we get to that bright side, the rainbow at the end of the storm? I don't know, but I can guarantee you that it is not with violence. It is not with destruction. Black lives matter. All lives matter. One does not disregard the other, but it is time for Black lives to stand up and show up. It is time for all lives to stand up and show up. When is enough enough? The execution of police officers need to stop. There is no excuse for such mayhem. The injustices done to blacks need to stop. There is no excuse for such foolishness. Mothers should not be afraid to send their sons to the store. Fathers should not have to teach and preach to their sons how to act when they are stopped or approached by a police officer, because if they reach for their wallet, they might get shot. Our sisters and daughters should not get jailed for a misdemeanor and end up dead the next morning. And our police officers should not be ambushed and gunned down while trying to protect our neighborhoods, while trying to keep the streets safe because of the violent acts and injustices done by immoral cops. When I ask you, is enough enough? It is impossible to address such an issue without bringing God into the mix. Well, God is always in the mix. Let me change that. It is impossible to address such an issue without acknowledging that God is in the mix. Whenever I am at a crossroad and have to choose a path to take, to rectify or to confront a situation, I always think of 1 Corinthians 13. And this is taken from the International Standard Version, verses 1 through 7. If I speak in the languages of humans and angels, but have no love, I have become a reverberating gong or a clashing cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can understand all secrets and every form of knowledge, and if I have absolute faith so as to move mountains, but have no love, I am nothing. Even if I give away everything that I have and sacrifice myself, but have no love, I gain nothing. Love is always patient. Love is always kind. Love is never envious or arrogant with pride. Nor is she conceited, and she is never rude. She never thinks just of herself or ever gets annoyed. She never is resentful, is never glad with sin. She's always glad to side with truth and pleased that truth will win. She bears up under everything, believes the best in all. There is no limit to her hope, and never will she fall. My friends, without love, you are nothing. Without love, you will fail. Imagine if all we did, if all we do was in the spirit of love. God says He did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I challenge you to strive to do all you do with power, with love, and with a sound mind. Dear friends, enough is enough. It is time to heal and move forward. The hurt and pain cannot be dismissed. It is time for peace, and peace cannot be achieved without love. It is time for forgiveness, and forgiveness is not an easy task. Each and every one of us have the power to love, but each and every one of us have to make the decision to do so. We cannot change the world without first changing ourselves. Be tired of hurting. Be tired of the violence. Be tired of the hatred. Enough disappointment. Enough frustration. Enough sadness. Enough anger. Enough of the injustices. Dear friends, enough is enough. Stand up and show up. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Hold on to the glimmer of hope. Move towards the light at the end of the tunnel. The rainbow after the storm. And refuse to be doomed. It is totally up to you.
There's a bright side somewhere. There's a bright side somewhere. And I ain't gonna rest until I find it. There's a bright side somewhere, and there's more love somewhere, and there's more peace somewhere. I ain't gonna rest till I find it. There's a bright side somewhere.
Thank you.